everybody. Woo! She is online today. Good morning, friends. Please come on in, have a seat. Welcome to UU Miami. Good morning to everybody joining us on the live stream today. For those of you I haven't had the privilege of meeting, my name is Alex Koliitzi. I am the Director of Music here at UU Miami. Everyone on the live stream this morning, please feel free to grab a candle or a chalice that you can light with us when we light the chalice a little bit later in our service. As folks are coming in, we will sing our first hymn, our soul singing hymn. Today, it is in the Teal hymnal number 1010, We Give Thanks. Number 1010, We Give Thanks. Please feel free to stand in body or spirit and join in the singing. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Good morning. Welcome to our multi-platform space here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Miami, or as we affectionately call it, UU Miami. As a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA, we bring a liberal religious voice to the great city of Miami. I am Bezel Evoy, your worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her. I am a female, and I am wearing a love, standing on the side of love t-shirt and my old rainbow jacket. Up on the chancel with me is Reverend Tom, Capo, and the minister here at UU Miami, Dr. Joseph Taleda, our pianist, and Dr. Alex Colesi, our music director. Got lots of doctorates. UU Miami wants to acknowledge that we gather on the traditional land of the Tequesta, Seminole, and Miccosukee people, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. May we continue to learn how to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as well. I invite you to think what this acknowledgement means to you and how you might honor it in your own life. UU Miami is a community of brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. We invite you to learn more about us. You can go to our Facebook, Instagram, linked, or our web pages. Or call or email Reverend Tom at minister@uumiami.org for more information. And if you have attended our services here a few times, consider becoming a member of this congregation. We would be happy to talk to you about membership.
If you will look up on the screen here, there it is. We're going to say our covenant together. So if you will join me, but wait a minute, before I do that, you'll notice I don't have joys and concerns on the order service right now. Normally we do the joys and concerns around this time. We're going to do joys and concerns at the end. Now, joys, and for those of you who are new, that's a time where people can come up and talk about a joy or sorrow that's going on in their life. So we are going to have that. It'll just be later in the service, maybe even during lunch. We'll see how that all works out. Now please join me in our covenant. We are an open, welcoming community who embodies respect, kindness, compassion, and curiosity. We foster a safe space that invites others to express their authentic, creative selves and unique ideas. We build relationships with one another by listening deeply with understanding and respect. We make a positive difference in our community using our combined time, talents, and treasure. We are committed to embracing learning, growth, and change.
I would like to invite Sol Pacheco Evoy up to light the chalice. Because I'm a good mom and I give my child flames. There you are. It is our tradition to light a chalice at the beginning of our service. Our chalice lighting words this morning were written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Tom Lynn Harrison. Committed to respond to the call of a wounded world, we join together this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds, embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth. We light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and justice. May we bring forth this day new wisdom, strength, and courage to create a world not of wealth, but well-being, a world of new peace and abundance for all. As we give thanks to this earth, our shared and singular home, may we dedicate ourselves to its ongoing care, rising to the calls deep within us and all around us. May we respond today and always with courage and love. We are going to sing the children out.
Hi everyone back there, you know what to do, yes? Please join in the singing if you know the tune. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go
want to share with you a story. Once upon a time, there was a puppet made of salt who had traveled a long time through dry places and deserts until one evening he came to the sea. He'd never before seen anything like it and didn't know what it was. The puppet asked the sea, "Who are you?" It replied, "I am the sea." But the puppet insisted, "What is the sea?" And it said, "I am." "I don't understand," said the puppet made of salt. The sea replied, "That's easy. Just touch me." The salt puppet timidly touched the sea with the tips of his toes. At that moment, he realized that the sea began to make itself perceptible. But at the same time, he noticed the tips of his toes had disappeared. "What have you done to me?" he cried to the sea. And the sea replied, "You have given a little of yourself to understand me." Slowly, the salt puppet began to walk into the sea with great solemnity, as though he were about to perform the most important act of his life. The further he moved along, the more he dissolved, but at the same time, he had the impression that he knew more and more about the sea. Again and again, the puppet asked, "What is the sea?" Until a wave covered him completely. Just before he was entirely dissolved by the sea, he exclaimed, "I am home."
For those of you watching our service online, I invite you to take out your smartphone, open a camera app, and point it at the QR code. It will open to UU Miami donation page, or you can go to uumiami.org and click on the donate button. And those who are present with us in the sanctuary, there will be a basket passed around for your donation. Or you too can point your smartphone at the QR code on the screen. Today, you will have the opportunity to not only donate to this congregation, but also to PACT, People Acting in Community Together. PACT is a Miami-based grassroots organizing nonprofit. They work on issues that are important to Miamians. PACT unites and organizes and trains leaders for diverse congregations, schools, and community groups to build a powerful community voice. Individually and collectively, they are empowered to hold officials accountable, achieve systemic change, and promote fairness, justice, and democracy in Miami-Dade County. We will be splitting the plate collection with PACT from April through June. This congregation is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place and the work we do in the world, for we are now the keepers of the dream.
Now we move into a time of prayer or meditation. Today's prayer was written by, prayer meditation, was written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Cox. I invite you now to move into that space for prayer or meditation in a way that works for you. You might take a deep, slow breath and let yourself settle in. You might close your eyes or let them rest. As you turn your attention inside to listen to these words and feel the space between the words. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions, and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteousness and anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for the oceans of love, rivers of connections, tears of relief, pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy to this community this morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for all these things and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. So may it be, blessed be, amen.
Our special music this morning will be provided by the UU Miami Choir. So as they make their way up here, I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is a compilation of two folk tunes, The Water is Wide and Bring Me a Little Water, Sylvie. This arrangement is by Rollo Dilworth, so it has a gospel style feel to it. The choir has been working on it for some time. At the beginning, you'll hear a soli group, soli meaning more than one person, but a small group, comprised of some of the treble voices or upper voices of our ensemble. I won't name them because they didn't want me to, but you'll see them for yourself. Thank you, CJ, for bringing the microphone. I appreciate it. And I'd like to just say for everybody that this is going to be Heather's final time joining us until next season because she's going back home to the Great White North. So thank you, Heather, for providing your music for us.
They are fabulous. Thank you. When I first came to Unitarian Universalism, I was like the puppet made of salt. I didn't know what Unitarian Universalism was. It seemed as unknowable as the sea to the puppet. And it was hard for the members of First Jefferson Unitarian Universalist Church to explain it to me. I had to experience it, immerse myself in it, and then I felt an overwhelming feeling and exclaimed within myself, I am home. Perhaps some of you have had that experience. Perhaps some of you still do. Slowly sticking your toes in, giving a part of yourself so that you can understand the rich, diverse religion that is Unitarian Universalism. It's how I have felt each time I come into a Unitarian Universalist church. And as a minister, I walk into the sea of each church that I'm called to with new and different questions and feelings, while still wanting to dissolve into the congregation and say, I am home. When I started here as your developmental minister, I came with some ideas from my 15 plus years of ministerial experience. I had met some of you, but I was just beginning my journey toward learning who you were as a congregation. When I walked in these doors, I asked, who are you? And the congregation said, I am the sea. I was perplexed, which is not uncommon for me, by the way. So I didn't really know who the congregation was. And I'm not sure that the congregation knew how to tell me. Neither of us knew each other's language of the heart. I had learned some facts from the Developmental Ministry search team and from the packet that they had put together. And I was familiar with the 5 developmental goals that the congregation asked me to work on with them. Here are those goals. UU Miami to develop a mission, identity, covenants, and goals as a community. Reverend Tom will provide spiritual leadership that ties UU Miami's diverse theological interests together as they reinvigorate spiritual nourishment and service for all. UU Miami to align itself with the UUA goals to address systemic racism within the congregation. UU Miami to ascertain its capacity for volunteerism and without burnout. UU Miami to understand and address why it is not a larger congregation despite being in a large metropolitan area, and to help UU Miami ascertain what is holding it back. These are facts. This is head language. It's basic, very understandable. But the language of this congregation, the heart language of this congregation, was not so clearly articulated. And so I began as your developmental minister with mystery. I started out observing how you do ministry, how you do leadership, and assessing how much energy there was in the congregation for change. In the first 7 months of my ministry, the number of people attending services noticeably increased, more than in some time. The nut about what was holding this congregation back from growth was beginning to crack. I held a series on Buddhism with various representatives of Buddhist sects speaking. This congregation seemed hungry for spiritual enrichment. I preached on white supremacy culture and racism, and we were planning for an awkward dinner with the South Florida people of color to give members of this congregation the opportunity to begin reflecting on their own personal biases. We worked on revamping the membership committee to help visitors find their path to membership. We held a congregational workshop on identity and vision so the board could get a sense of what was important to this congregation. And after that workshop, I wrote, "My impression is that I'm beginning to see more positive engagement by members of this congregation with some of this new programming, with the updating of our bulletin boards, with the activities of the committees that have members. There are still a few committees that have no members, but for the foreseeable future, that's okay. There is energy around social justice and socialization, wanting to do things together that we might capitalize on. It seems that there needs to be some focus on priorities, and I think the congregation is looking for leadership to give them some direction. Also, it seems to me that the congregation needs to spend some time considering mission and vision, which may help them to develop that needed focus and priority." We had started working on all these developmental goals. And then COVID happened and stopped the world in its tracks. In essence, I was doing developmental work when I started, inviting you to work on all these developmental goals rather than asking, "Who are you?" and listening for your answer. Developmental work was what you'd asked me to do, and it was my duty as your developmental minister to do it. But here's the thing, before I could even ask, "What is the sea?" before I could even put my toe in the sea, there was no sea. COVID stopped, the developmental work stopped, me being able to find out who this community was. We became like islands separate from one another. I put together the live stream within a week of quarantine, and Sunday morning services offered us some level of connection. And the board and I called every member of the congregation to see how you all were doing. And members of this congregation did whatever they could to stay connected, including drive-bys for birthdays or when somebody was feeling particularly isolated. Some congregants even got a dinosaur drive-by. During COVID, we had an intern, Shay, some of you remember, who we grew to love. We learned how to hold classes online, and we had some great ones. The one on indigenous people with activists and artists, scientists from various indigenous communities. We had anti-racism programming and book studies, but still we were very much separated. I know many members and friends either fell away from the congregation or felt unloved or disengaged. That just didn't happen here, by the way. It happened all over the country in denominations and churches everywhere. Quarantine lasted 18 months, and the repercussions are still being experienced in this congregation and experienced in congregations all over the world. Some people in this congregation even still found it difficult to come to be here present with us, even after we opened the doors and asked them to come. And some people found it even more difficult ever to come back within these walls and remain with us online. See y'all. When the sea started really forming again was around the end of 2021, 2022 church year. It was a whole new sea, substantially different from the sea that existed in 2019. That's when I arrived. And I wanted so much to be part of the sea and to put my toe in. Moving into my fourth year, I finally was able to get to know so many of you and our new people who are joining us, and began to hear some of your visions and priorities for this congregation. And I was able to form meaningful connections with some people in the larger community, and did some things in the larger community that really made a difference. I put my feet into the sea. I've given more of me to this post-COVID congregation and community. We had more and more people coming. Staff was changing and developing into a team. Music was getting better and better. The choir started up again. Live streaming got better and better. We have with our new camera and equipment. The Social Justice Committee and I were involved in PACT, and many other nonprofits came to talk to us. Members of this congregation, I participated in a pride parade and the Nehemiah Actions with PACT. A couple of times we went to a movie theater, each in our own cars for the Nehemiah Action, and honking our horns and saying, "Let justice roll." And we got city leaders to commit to making changes in housing and decreasing arrests and incorporating programs for reducing gun violence. My fourth year, I felt I had relationships with so many of you. And so many of you had gotten to know me, sharing yourselves with me and my lovely wife, Martha. I was starting to feel really fully submerged in this congregation. I felt I knew who we were together. My body was nearly fully submerged now. And I was still asking, what is the sea? Even as I began to feel I was home within this wonderful congregation. I wonder, when did you feel completely part of this congregation? I don't mean when did you become a member. I mean, when did you feel you were part of something larger here? That this was your community, one that you shared ownership in. Time when you could say, I am home within this amazing congregation. That mysterious moment when you felt, I am part of us. Acceptance, understanding, mutual trust are deeply spiritual acts. And religious communities, in the moments of their greatest authenticity, are spaces of deeply spiritual acts. When we identify with such a religious community, we share a link that makes us better people, more than we could be alone. We begin to see we are meant to do something more, and that we can realize more of our personal wholeness in community. Some religions call such moments insight, some transformation, enlightenment, heaven, non-duality. Such a moment happens in Unitarian Universalist congregations when we experience the mystery of us. And we realize that the mystery of us is complex and complicated, full of grace and goodness, authenticity and wisdom, hurt and disillusionment. This religious community calls us to bonds that are qualitatively different than the bonds we experience outside of these walls. Here we share bonds that promote growth within each person, including your minister, as well as among the people in the larger community. Bonds that sustain and ground us beyond the walls of this building. This religious community provides the opportunity to embrace the mystery of us with all that implies. I chose to embrace the mystery of us in this congregation. The wonderful, the amazing, the hurt, the disillusionment, every aspect of being present and authentic with you. But there was one emotional aspect, that mystery of us, that I did not anticipate having to embrace. And that was separation. All of us have to face separation at some point in our lives. Loss of a relationship, loss of someone or something important or meaningful in our lives. But few of us anticipate it, prepare for it, sometimes even know what to do when it happens. Few of us want relationships to change substantially. You and I, we're part of the same sea, full of mysteries waiting to be discovered and understood. And separation is, I believe, for all of us, the most difficult part of mystery. Difficult, but not beyond our ability to navigate. We can end a relationship while still honoring each other's worth and dignity. We can cherish the connections that remain in our hearts, minds, and souls so long as we are alive. Those we have touched and those who have touched us are always within us. I'm leaving UU Miami. My last Sunday in the pulpit will be the end of June. The mystery of us is not just about who we were together. It is who we have become by being together. The mystery will continue when we are separated from one another. For us today, the mystery of us is about what you will take from our relationship and what I will take with me from our relationship. You have blessed me with many experiences and many learnings that I will continue to reflect on. I hope I have done the same. As in all meaningful and mysterious relationships, the deeper the love, the deeper the pain when separation occurs. Thus, I have profound sadness in leaving you. But greater, really greater than that, is I will carry with me until the end of my days a great love for this community. So it is with this that I say from deep in my heart, Namaste.
Our closing hymn today is in the Teal Hymnal, number 1064, Blue Boat Home. Please feel free to stand in body or spirit and join in the singing. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in a beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat
Ooh, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to all the professional and volunteer staff, the church board, our committees, Cheryl, business manager, childcare workers, Luz, for yoga, Jairo, who is our communications director, Kat, our sexton, and Derek Mustelier, who is running our sound and live stream. Dr. Joseph Toledo for accompanying our hymns and providing wonderful music. Dr. Alex Colesi for leading us in our hymns so beautifully. The UU Miami Choir for singing today. And Jessica Lamb, our DRE, for teaching our children. Thanks for our greeter. It was John. Thank you, John. And the collection people, I believe. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And in the back, we have Maria, Charles, Elizabeth serving lunch today. I smell it cooking. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you. Please watch for your weekly email newsletter or visit our website for upcoming programming. There is lunch today, and it's $5, and thank you for that lunch, guys. If it's your first time, don't worry about the donation, just eat. After lunch at 12:45 p.m. in the Emerson Room and online, we will have our social justice meeting with a special guest. There will not be a service in this sanctuary. Instead, UU Miami members and friends are invited to live our values by attending or marching in the Miami Beach Pride Parade. Dale! We will be marching with Safe Schools South Florida, yes, and the organization that we are partnering with in providing a safe space for our LGBTQ plus youth. Please wear your yellow UU t-shirts, and I think there might be a few more left, but you'll have to look and see. If you don't have one, just ask Reverend Tom for one, and we will bring our UU Miami banner. If you don't want to walk for whatever reason, you can bring a chair, support Pride by watching the parade and attending the festival. We are going to work on carpooling, so if we need to get a list of people who are attending, there's a sign-up list in the sanctuary. Is that in the back? In the back, you can sign up if you need a ride, and online through the link in your newsletter. The Social Justice Committee of UU Miami is a member of PACT, People Acting in Community Together. PACT's biggest event is the annual, thank you, action on Monday, April 15th. You don't have to be a member of Social Justice Committee to join us for the Nehemiah, am I saying that right? Nehemiah action. The action is when we hold local election leaders accountable for the changes we want to see in Miami-Dade. We will be arranging carpooling for the Nehemiah action. Just let me know if you're able to attend. Me? No, me. Me, meaning Reverend Tom. Thank you all.
I'm going to say a few closing words, but I have some other things to say, so don't get up. For our closing words today, we have something written by UU Minister Reverend Norman V. Naylor. Reminded that we are part and participants of the universe, let us go forth from this quiet hour, encouraged to strive toward faithfulness to the best in ourselves, in others, and the whole of creation. So